Hello, welcome back. In this video I want to give my review for the Outriders expedition modes. I'm going to cover a lot of information in this video, from the patch to the nerfs to the self-revives to meta builds to time completion bullshit to the terrain, anomaly power, damage scaling, a whole bunch of stuff. Running in the background is a tier 13 silver chem lab completion. Expeditions and Outriders are the endgame content, sort of like miniature raids. They scale in difficulty from tier 1 to challenge tier 15. Each raid is timed. The times correlate to metals and loots, gold being the best, bronze being the worst, or you could just die and get absolutely nothing. When I played the demo, I was incredibly scared that this game would be way too easy and you could just raffle stomp your way through the endgame content. I have never been so wrong in my entire life. I think the expedition modes are incredibly fun. The difficulty is absolutely insane. I'm currently stuck at challenge tier 14. I'm a big fan of this game. I'm having a lot of fun with the difficulty presented by these expedition modes. They're incredibly difficult, and I am super addicted and having a blast trying to figure out how I can breeze through challenge tier 15. With that said, I need to get a lot of constructive criticism out there because I think there is humongous room for improvement so far. The first thing that I believe to be the biggest failure so far of expedition mode and of Outriders in general is the first patch we got was not to fix stability, was not to fix performance issues, was not to fix crashes, to fix crossplay, to fix the number of things that are completely broken in this game, but to nerf builds. This is just a very bad look. I don't know why this was top priority. I don't understand what the problem is with having people have broken builds so early into the game. I understand that they do need to rebalance things based on how quickly people are blowing through expeditions and essentially dominating the end game. This will shave time off of the game's lifespan. If everybody can blow through the game too quickly, they're going to have put 5 years of work in for a product that lasts a couple of months or even weeks. I do understand this. However, the problem is when the majority of the player base is screaming at the developers on Twitter, on Reddit, on Facebook that there are major stability issues. My game personally crashes all the time. I'm on an Xbox Series X. I have not played a game that crashes to the home screen so frequently in a very long time. It is super frustrating. It feels like every time I go to check my fucking inventory, the game crashes. I have to reload, watch the video of the stupid bird coming in. Horrible. That's unacceptable for a AAA title. So a $60 AAA title needs to run smoothly, even if it's riddled with some small bugs and disconnects and server issues. I think that's okay. Launch weekend, personally, that was frustrating, but was not the end of the world. However, constant crashes almost, well, for me, 2 weeks. Thanks, New Zealand. For constant crashes to be still a problem a week and a half after release, and the first major patch you put out addresses character builds, that is very problematic to me. I personally don't find the nerfs that big of a deal. I did not run Trickster. I saw the YouTube videos, looked really cool, looked really overpowered. But the thing with me is, if you want to nerf characters, if you want to nerf builds, what are you doing to compensate for the rest of the player base that aren't these super sweaty PC players that got the game weeks early and have been testing and figuring out builds and sweating it out for your PR, by the way? The reason they give YouTubers and streamers copies is to generate hype for the game. So you focus on nerfing basically a slim percentage of the population because their builds really are broken, and everybody else was kind of tagging along like, yeah, this is kind of cool, whatever. And so those people ruined it for everybody. I can live with that, but the problem I have is, what are you doing to compensate the other builds? My biggest problem with Outriders Expedition mode right now is, why the hell am I forced into playing like 2 different potential builds for each character? I've been sweating my ass off trying to find builds that aren't the meta, either unlimited volcanic rounds or twisted rounds with the stupid shotgun infinite critical damage. Why are there 2 choices to progress through the end game? I don't understand. I put out a video the other day about how I had a fun mid-tier build. It was a caster build with eruption and or volcanic rounds, and it was really fun, but there's no chance you could take that build past challenge tier 12. It's just not possible. I got to 13 and it was the sweatiest, basically, stubbornness of me saying I can do something that isn't meta to get this far, and it was very frustrating. I understand meta builds. I understand how the internet works. Eventually people will figure out the way to absolutely break the shit out of damage numbers in your game. That's fine. That's how it is. No problem. Great. You can have meta builds. The problem I have is when meta builds are the only way, when only a certain handful, tiny cherry-picked number of builds can take you through the end game. That does not work for me. Why is it so important to have variety in your game? Well, let me tell you. What's going to be good for shelf life of this game, for playability of this game? A lot of time spent tinkering around with builds and fine-tuning and creating something unique. That's my favorite part of endgame content for any sort of looter shooter or character building class game like this. I love messing around. I like doing weird stuff. On Borderlands 3, I tried so hard to make the pet for Flak be a overpowered god tier minion skill thing before they buffed the shit out of it and it was relevant. But I couldn't make it work, but I still had fun doing it because in Borderlands, you can have a stupid build and all of the end game and bosses and all that stuff, they just take a lot longer. That's fine. Some people are down. Some people are down to have a worse build, but they created it and they're having fun with it. And maybe they can't blow through the end game content in 2 weeks with their super sick massive critical damage trickster build, but they're having fun messing around, and I know I am absolutely that way. I like the ingenuity, the creativity, the developing new stuff and trying my own thing and then be like, oh nice, I made this. Sure, it's not as dope as yours, but it works and it's super fun to play. And this is again tied really closely to the fact that these expeditions are timed. I don't really have that big of a problem with the timed expeditions. The issue is that the timer makes you do a build that is pure DPS. You need to blow through this shit as fast as you possibly can. Otherwise, you don't get the rewards. You can't. If you're taking too long, you can go from gold to silver to bronze to literally nothing. You can get nothing. You can finish it too slowly and get nothing. That's not right. What? Who's thinking of the casuals? I don't think I'm, full casual, but I like to, I'm kind of casual, all right? Whatever. Who's thinking of the casuals? What are you supposed to do? Like, you can't have the maximum DPS build, so I guess go f*** yourself. You should have some sort of option to make it so that you can play the end game how you like at your own pace, where it's not a sweat speed run fiesta. Why is it so punishing for solo players? I don't understand why team players with matchmaking or your friends, why do you get a self-res and the solo players don't? I can't figure that out. Team play is difficult because you need to work together, the enemies scale up, but there's no way it's that much harder than solo to get not only the ability for your friends to revive you, but you just get a free self-revive. Why? I cannot wrap my head around that. You're playing alone, go f*** yourself, no res for you. If you die, you die, and you start back in the beginning, and you get a little box that's pitifully filled with some blues and that you can wipe your ass with. But if you're with your friends, they can revive you, or go ahead and revive yourself, buddy. Just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. You'll be okay. You need to also add a checkpoint at the end of the fucking expeditions. It's too much to lose everything and get some pitiful loot box after you die on the last boss. If you take the idea for the checkpoint and use it, make it so that if you do die and you do use the checkpoint, you get severely diminished loot. But come on, at least let me open that drop pod and get something. Like a microscopic chance at a legendary. Make it 0.1%. It's better than that loser box. It is so frustrating. Again, particularly for solo players who get to the end, the status spam effect of multiple big fucking bird enemies, and they just wipe you from across the map while you're dodge roll, and you can't do shit about it. And then, sucks to be you. You get the loser box because you couldn't be bothered to give me a self-res and or a checkpoint at the last stage. To top it off, they nerfed the, I'm using air quotes here, easiest expeditions. What kind of person is able to do Boomtown on tier 14 in 6 minutes solo? If you can do that, first of all, good for you. You've obviously mastered this, and congratulations. I'm definitely not knocking you. But for most players, there's no way. So because some people were like, this one's more, more fast-paced, and we can do this easier with our sweat squad of 3 people with perfectly synergized builds. We've been playing this game since before it was released. Those people essentially made it so they broke it for everybody. Like, Boomtown was never my favorite. I always loved chem plants, so now I'm like sweating it out to get golds on chem plants because it just 10 minutes is very difficult. It's just ridiculous that you nerf the difficulty of those because a slim percentage of the player base has found a way to just absolutely massacre those runs, so everyone else gets punished. Another thing that really frustrates me with the expeditions is, why is it so challenging to navigate the terrain? Like, this game's already punishing enough. Don't make me go into stun recovery because my guy who traveled through time and space stubbed his pinky toe on a fucking uneven ledge on the ground. What is that? Why is that a thing? Why do I fall 3 inches off of one surface to another? I gotta recover. Oh my god, I got stunned. I got staggered. What is this? I canceled my reload because I stubbed my toe? What? That is so bad. I don't know if they have messed up rendering the textures, but this happens to me all the time. I don't understand why this is a thing. This game is already hard enough. You don't need to make me so concerned with navigating terrain, and don't even get me started on the color and density of bushes. I don't know why it's so hard to see through them, but I think I'm special in that case. I just am blind. The little things go into the bush. The little things are invisible. The little things eat my ass. The little things have killed me. Perfect. And I've been reading Reddit a lot, and I've seen the fury about this nerfing and stuff. To me, that's not the biggest problem. You have a lot of other issues that need to be fixed here, and I don't really see a way that this is going to be perfected in the next month, maybe plus. So I'm really hoping they take a look at this and realize that they have significantly frustrated a large portion of their fan base, and I just hope that they can listen to criticism and not necessarily undo nerfs. That's fine. But buff some other stuff. Like the Devastator is just hurting right now, and it's pretty funny how in the demo all my reviews said this guy needs to be nerfed, and then what happened? He's pretty much irrelevant right now in the end game. And for everybody who isn't just spamming these challenge tiers and trying to beat the end game like a junkie like myself and some of my friends, there is a lot of fun to be had in the campaign. There is a lot of fun in the mid-challenge tiers. There is a lot of fun early on, all throughout the game, struggling through the world tiers. I have nothing negative to say about that at all. I enjoyed the campaign. I thought it was very fun. It was very hard with the world tiers. You could lower it if you were stuck. Great, nailed it. But the end game for the people that are sweaty and that want to grind this and make this their main game for a very long period of time is not up to snuff. And I really hope that they evaluate how they're doing this speed run meta bullshit, how they are limiting the number of builds that are working, buff the Devastator for the love of God, and do something about the rounds. Like, I haven't been able to get past 13 with the build on my Pyromancer that did not use volcanic rounds. I have a feeling, and I've seen speculation on Reddit, that anomaly power and skill damage is not scaling through the challenge tiers. It feels to me like when you do an eruption, it's just trash damage. Like, I don't know why you get punished for wanting to play a fucking caster in a game with a caster at high tiers. It's all about DPS. It's all about headshots. And while this is not problematic for some players who just want to get through this and bully their way up there and finish this, get to that eye of the storm and be done, for everyone else who's not into that kind of build, what the hell is going on? What are we supposed to do? It's just not cool. The scaling, DPJ, big YouTuber, did a video about the damage scaling and how nerfed you get when you drop down the tiers. When you drop down the world tiers or challenge tiers, either to lower the difficulty or to help your friends, you get punished. The damage scaling nerfs you artificially into the ground. And this is another point of contention I have. Why do you make it so difficult for me to test a build by dropping down the world tiers and trying new stuff? Why does my damage get nerfed? Why can't I try new stuff to see if it works at a lower, easier difficulty, farm some new mods, and have fun with a fucking build before I sweat it out and go back to challenge tier 14 or 15. I don't understand this. I get the point. You want to make it so that you don't let power rush your friends through to challenge tier 15 so they can help you out. But is it really such a crime to catch your friends up to you? Is that really what's going to kill this game if everyone gets power leveled to the end of the game? I don't think you can trade. I don't think they plan on letting you trade. So you're going to have to grind your own gear out anyway. And with the drop rates being so low, which they are, and I don't mind. I think, again, that's grinding as part of gaming, and I'm down to, devote time to grind loots. Don't make it so that my friends can't even catch up to me. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's almost embarrassing. Yeah, bro, you're on challenge tier 14. Come help us out. We're stuck at challenge tier 4, and I'm just getting sauced up. I'm doing headshots for like 300 damage, and they're just like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You've been playing this game for 80 hours a day. How can you not carry us? I'm like, bro, the scaling, please. Please, it's not my fault. In short, fix the matchmaking, fix the crashes, fix the stability, fix the scaling, fix the fucking self-res. Either take it away from group play, I'm that salty about it, or give it to the solo players as well. It's disgusting and I'm completely over it. And you got to do something about the time. Either add a different mode that's not speed sweat city or something, because the full speed DPS stuff is, I think, what's going to kill your game. It's going to make all of the casual players, which I guarantee you there are a ton of casual players, and I like to position myself to make videos for casual players because not everybody's a sweat. Like, it's just not how life is. Not everybody's like that. So those people need, again, myself included, need some sort of alternative, which is not just trying to grind out gold senselessly. That's about all I have on that. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a sub. If you made it to the end of this video, you're crazy, and I love you. We out.